Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformer Studio Series Voyager class Mixmaster. You can see him there in front of the box. We'll go ahead and put him off to the side real quick and take a look at said box. And yeah, it is a Studio Series box. You got Transformers and the blue Studio Series band. You got Transformers movie. Mixmaster is Hasbro. Up here, of course, you got a picture of a Mixmaster in both his robot and vehicle modes. You got 15 steps and hey, 5 of 5 for Devastator. And there's the window, Transformers and movie and Mixmaster up here. And of course, on this side, you have Devastator. Number 5 of 5, Transformers movie. Down here, back here, you have the kind of extension of the front picture and a little bit of Autobots in there and Voyager class. On the back, or on the bottom here, you have what's included and what's in manufacturing details, and of course, on the back, you have copyrights and warnings. And hey, look, there's some product shots and a screen cap of Devastator, and it says Mixmaster combines with the other Constructicons to form Devastator. And on top of that, you have, of course, instructions, which are pretty basic because he is pretty basic. He is not exactly the most complicated. In fact, most of the Constructicons are like that. So. Mixmaster, who's kind of personally I have a soft spot for because he was my very first one I ever got when I was a kid. So you got there, right there. You got his kind of almost Decepticon symbol-esque head. You can see the little crest right there. You got his silver face and red eyes. You got his overhang right there. It's the kind of a faux, I guess the guns right there now. You got his, you got the purple with the kind of the striping on there. There's a red and the black circles, a little Decepticon thing on his belly. You got wheels on there and the shoulders and whatnot. And there's fists and there's purple and green. Purples and greens all the way down here. He's got little stubby toes. He's got kind of these big old long heels and everything. They kind of changed up a little bit how he transforms, but there's quite a bit how he transforms compared to, say, the original G1. He's got a big old green block right here on his butt. And you got his mixing drum, which it does come separately in the package. You have to more or less peg it on, but it's pretty simple. Just, peg it on to the back. It's not particularly hard or anything. Although it's a little difficult to get back off once you've done so. So, there's a Mixmaster. He's pretty darn good looking. He's pretty darn G1-ish. Some liberties taken, but for the sake of, I guess, making him simplified. But pretty darn good looking overall. As for posability, of course, his head is I think it's up on the ball joint. It's hard to get my hands in there, but it does move left and right. It does move back and forth as it looks. Yeah, it's definitely a ball joint, but you can't really see it too well because I have to do some weird stuff. But yeah, you can see waggle and everything, so it's a ball joint. Shoulders do full rotation right here. There is outward right here, though. Kind of this tab right here is a little bit in the way, but thanks to the transformation joint, you can bring it up a little bit and then get it all the way out. So there's that. If you like, right here, there's a bicep swivel right there. There's an elbow bend to get 90 degrees. It's kind of a little weird looking, but it is the case with some of these guys. There's unfortunately no waist joint whatsoever because of multiple reasons, including there's a big old ratchet in there. Hips, though, go forward that far, and they go back that far, and they go outward. Give this out of the way, go outward that far, so full splits. You do have a thigh swivel, you do have 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and of course, and actually kind of bends forward as well because of, again, transformation stuff. And down here at the feet, you do have, 90 degrees of articulation there at the ankle, and I guess the heel spur can move like that if you need that for whatever reason, those kind of click points where it does so. And also you can move this thing out, but that's again for transformation and whatnot, and you can give him weird looking toe if you want. So there you go. That is all his articulation. And of course he comes with a single accessory, which is his little gun, which just looks pretty much just like this. Of course you can just plug in his hand, and there you go, he's armed and whatnot. And of course blast effect compatibility is a thing still, so got that. And I'm wondering about these. Is it? No, I was wondering. It occurred to me, but nope, not really. Those are too big, so those don't. No blast effect compatibility there. So there you go. So yeah, Mixmaster as a whole, does he live up to my expectations? More or less. I kind of wish the arms were done a little bit differently. I've already seen the DNA kit for it, and it's one of those things where it's kind of a you kind of gave me what I wanted, but not in the very kind of crap way. And I'll explain that a little bit more because there's a specific function they do. So there's that. But yeah, overall he does look pretty darn good. I think I really like him, and So I guess some comparison stuff. Here he is with that. Well, here's my knockoff G1 Mixmaster, who doesn't look very good. This is not the one I had as a kid. Mine was a G2 Mixmaster, and oh boy, he's falling over. Why is he falling over? There we go. Yeah, but he's falling over. Yeah. Yeah, this definitely has Mixmaster vibes. Here's the previous Combiner Wars Mixmaster, which you can see kind of the thing again, which is we're taking the old Combiner Wars and making it a little bit better and whatnot. Although in this case, a lot better considering no weird no cement mixer kind of hanging off his butt. And of course, here's the line standard of here's Studio Series 86 Optimus. Give an idea there. Is that? Because now I have him here, Studio Series Megatron. There's that bit. And finally, of course, just everybody get the whole lineup here, hopefully. There is the Studio Series Constructicons as a whole. Yeah, I also want to show, just like the Combiner Wars version, you could take all the individual Devastator pieces and use them as weapons, just like Combiner Wars, as well as their normal individual weapons. So there's the 6 of them, all lined up. Pretty great. So there's that. Yeah, Mixmaster, rather like him. He again, he is he's good. I just how I like how he looks, and that's still shows the thing right there. And I like how he looks overall. He's just a good-looking robot overall. I find him to be very much satisfying and lives up to my expectations pretty much. So I guess going ahead and getting him transformed into his vehicle mode. Of course, got to get this gun out of his hand right there. And so straightening out that arm right there. And first of all, what you want to do is come down here to the feet and make sure those ankles are straightened out. And then open up these panels right here in the front of the leg. Open those up. Tab the legs together like so. Tab those together. And then from here, what you go ahead and do is use these hinges right here to bring those forward right there like that. You want those down. And then you want to, this hinge where the purple is, you want to bend those forward, and those can be a little tough sometimes. I find it probably it's best to try to bend them forward before you bend the other hinge forward. Yeah, bend that forward and then bring that forward and then bend at the hips. So you want to bend that up like this and bring it down like this so it all sits together, and of course it'll all tab together like that. See that all tabs together. And then down here, what you want to do is take these and flip them around like this. Flip this around. Flip that around like that, and then fold these and have them in right there, like that. Then right here, you want to take the chest piece and untab that, and then bring the arms up like this, and they'll come in. You see there's there's tabs and slots right there, so those tab in. And there's a little tab and slot right here at the hand. You tab in right there like that. Same thing. You bring this up, and this will again straighten out. You'll tab this all in right there, and that will tab in right there, like that. And you take this flap right here, and this will fold back, and there's tabs right here with little slots on it right there, like that. And then finally, what you do is you open this piece up. You want to open this up right here and rotate this around, and then bring it down, and it'll look like that. There's a little mixing thing. And with that, you have Mixmaster in his vehicle mode. So Mixmaster in alt mode is, it's a truck. It's a cement truck, all right. It's a much more classic cement truck versus the Combiner Wars version we'll see in a second. But yeah, it's just pretty good looking overall. Yeah, the transformation is, as you saw, it's pretty simple. The only thing really I struggle with is just simply these hinges right here where you can see the purple. Those are kind of a little on the tight side. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward and basic, which is a little disappointing considering, it's kind of been the case with all these Constructicons. Simply, the actual individual transformation is actually pretty simple, with almost Bone Crushers almost being the most complicated, which is kind of weird. But and on the flip side of that, because they're combiners, with them having simple transformations, it's really easy to fairly quick to go between modes and get them all combined and everything. But regardless, this is not a bad looking cement mixer thing overall. The only thing would possibly be these bits right here, but it's kind of necessary the way it transforms and everything. And yeah, also the other thing is, which is this the cab here kind of sits weirdly high considering everything, or at least looks like it, just because of this block of stuff underneath. But yeah, generally looks pretty good. You got the silver right here for the front. You got the purple windows. You got the silver on on the wheels and everything. There's not really much picked up back here. There is some detailing, but no paint. You got the little, I guess the, I don't know what the bucket is for whatever it is for the actual cement mixing. This does not spin in any way mostly because it's, you know, doing stuff like has to open like right there and everything, so it doesn't spin at all. But the wheels do roll, and he rolls pretty decently. So there is that, you know, it's just a pretty solid looking cement mixer. And of course, the gun here, if you want to store it, there's a peg hole right here just for that. So there you go. You can store the gun right there if you want. Or you can store it right there if you want, I guess. You can store it on the side if you want as well. Like that, if you like. So, you know, there are options as well. So, yeah, it's Mixmaster. And yeah, it's a pretty solid alt node. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, I would say, other than, yeah, unless this sort of thing bothers you, which is, if it does, well, then what the heck are you doing collecting Generations toys? Yeah, overall, it's pretty solid, and I rather like it. But yeah, as for some comparison stuff, again, here's my knockoff G1. Give you an idea there. Which does have a spinning barrel, but it's green. Yeah, and no chroming on this because, yep, again, knockoff. So, and of course, yeah, the paint, the chroming on the wheels is super worn out. Actually, it came out of the box like that. Here's the Combiner Wars Mixmaster, which is a very different, you know, the core more modern cement mixer, which people cried foul about. And well, yeah, for this one they did it correctly. Because yeah, otherwise, hey, look, you could pretend, I guess, but it doesn't look right. So yeah, there's that. That's a massive improvement. Here's Optimus Prime in his truck mode, just to give you an idea there. Which yeah, it's one of those. I think this might be right because cement mixer trucks tend to be a little bit on the smaller side, so this seems somewhat in that is a kind of a mushiness, but it's close enough, I feel, in scale-wise, these two. There's that. Here's Studio Series Megatron in his tank mode, which I don't think this is really that's particularly in scale, but you know, whatever. You got a tank and a cement mixer, so there's that. And finally, there are the Studio Series Constructicons as a whole, including I even brought the trailer out for this one, because why not? There they are, all 6 of them in their vehicle modes, and that sure is quite the lineup. So there you go. So that's a Mixmaster's alt mode, which means one more thing to do, which is take him into his combined mode, which is pretty straightforward as well. So what you want to do here is you take the front of the vehicle here, you untab it, you untab the front here like this, and you bring it around on these hinges and stuff, and you bring it up, and it'll tab it in up here. You can see these slots right here for these tabs and everything. Bring it up and tab it in like that. Back here, what you want to go ahead and do is bring out these like this, just bring out the amount that's heel support, so like so, and you untab the forearms here and bring them back at an angle like this. Tab that and bring that out like an angle like that, and with that, you have Mixmaster in his combine mode. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. They did, of course, obviously took the liberties. You know, no more. The whole cab doesn't come swing around and become the foot anymore. It's just now the front. And yeah, this bit right here, this is the thing that really bothers me is these arms just kind of chill out like this. And that's the thing is that there's that DNA kit which they've already shown off, which shows these folding up completely. They completely fold up, like, there's an extra hinge here that they fold up more, which is a cool idea, but it kind of makes it look weird. So that's one of those things where it's like, I've been seeing the kits and I'm very much waffling on them because they're like, there's some things I like about those kits and there's a lot of things I don't like about those kits. So I'm kind of in this weird place. I'm like, it's kind of a waste of money for like half the kit I'm never going to use. So, it's like that sort of thing. Huge waste of money if I'm just going to not even bother using half the kit. But, this is not the worst, but it's not great. I mean, you can leave these hooked up like this, but the problem, you can leave these attached if you really want to, but the problem is, well, the reason they come out like this for this. That's why they move, and also, yeah, you can see, that's also the reason why he's a Voyager. Also, this stuff, I think considering how chunky he is, I don't think this would fit into Deluxe Box, plus you got that. So, yeah, that's pretty much why he's a Voyager. So, there you go. So yeah, that's Mixmaster as a whole. I like him a lot. I like the robot mode. The transformation, both transformations are kind of, well, really simple. It's one of those things where it's kind of this weird place of like, I can see the idea because like this way you can get them all combined together really quickly and everything. But like at the same time, it's like kind of, I think the film may be a little too simple. The combined mode, the alt mode, I rather like as well. The alt mode I think is overall pretty good looking. The combined mode is mostly there. The only thing I can really complain about is the forearms hanging off the back kind of looks a little sloppy. And this was one of the things they definitely, if they just had one more hinge in it, I don't think, those elbows had one more hinge just so it can completely fold up against the back. I don't think anyone would be complaining about it, but or something to make it so they don't just stick out like that, like this. So, but as it is, that's how it is. And there is a kit coming, but the other part of the other parts of the kit just, not only does the new DNA arms look kind of weird, it also comes with stuff like, cool, I don't need shoes for Scavenger. That just looks dumb. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I'm sitting there debating on those kits, and I might not bother with them. So because I don't know. So yeah, that's Mixmaster. I think he's really solid, and again, for a Voyager price, he's also really solid. I know apparently Big Bad Toys decided to start charging $40 for him they claim for tariff reasons, which is weird considering no one else is doing that. But whatever. He's still a really solid figure overall, and I really definitely much because considering Mixmaster has always been my favorite Constructicon. I think he lives up to it, to the Mixmasters I have already, but he's just really solid. I like him, and I think he's really good. Even on his own, he's pretty solid. Just the only thing is, on his own, he kind of doesn't quite, if you're going to use it just play on his own, the thing is, the stuff that makes him Voyager price, a lot of it is just simply there for the combined mode, so it's that kind of sort of thing. So he's just good, but yeah, it's just as a standalone figure, he's just, how would I put it? As a standalone figure, he almost feels like he should be deluxe size, but because of the combined mode functionality, he definitely fills out his Voyager price point, in my opinion. So there is that. So take that for what you will. As a standalone figure, you might have to wait for a cheaper price, but who knows if you're gonna be able to get them for cheaper, considering it's a Constructicon. They've been pretty highly sought after. So there you go. That's it for this review. I hope you find it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Ko-fi and my Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.